All right, I hope you're excited because I'm excited for you to get started. All right, we are on the first video of Module 0. And remember, Module 0 is really about getting your mindset in the game. It's about getting your mind right. It's about, checking in and making sure that you are convincing yourself that you can buy houses. Because, honest to goodness, guys, once you convince yourself that you can buy houses and you don't need banks, you don't need a license, you don't need credit and all that stuff that I'm going to teach you, once you convince yourself of that, everything else is pretty easy. Everything else is just paperwork. Everything else is just kind of getting in a rhythm and getting in a system and getting out there and rocking and rolling. So, the first lesson I have for you, and you're welcome to come back to Module 0 anytime that you need a pep talk or anytime you just need to check in or you need to just kind of get your mind right, you're totally welcome to come back to Module 0 and get trucking again. Okay? So, let's talk about the elephant, the giraffe, and the turtle. Now, I know you've heard this before, but how do you eat an elephant? Seriously, if you wanted to eat an elephant, which is basically what we're doing here, we're taking on this big giant project and we're going to get it down into bite-sized pieces so that you can actually tackle it, right? And the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So the only way to buy these houses, the only way to get these deals done is one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with all these things that have to happen. I'm going to take you through it slowly, step by step, in a whole series of videos. And you can stop, you can pause, you can start again, you can come into the Facebook group and ask questions, you can send me an email, however you need to get in touch with me. Or you can watch the next video, because sometimes the answer to your question is just in the next video. All right? So remember that too. As you're going through the course, it looks like a lot. It's really put out there in a systematic way so that you can go all the way through and totally get these deals done and feel like you've been investing without money and banks and credit forever. All right? So, we eat an elephant one bite at a time, and we're going to get these deals done one step at a time. Okay? Now, let's talk about the giraffe and the turtle for a second. I love the story about the giraffe and the turtle because they were best friends. And they hung out, they did everything together. And one day they were out for a walk. And they came up on a puddle. Big old puddle in the road. Okay? And the turtle looked at this puddle and the turtle said, "Oh, man. I'm just never going to be able to get across this puddle in the road. It's too big, it's too deep, I don't know what's going on with it, and I just can't do it." But the giraffe came up to the exact same puddle, and the giraffe, because of his perspective, he's a lot taller, right? And that big old puddle looked like just a little bitty puddle. And what did the giraffe do? The giraffe just stepped right over that puddle. It didn't faze him at all. So, when you come up on a puddle or a problem in the road, I want you to take it from the perspective of the giraffe, not from the turtle. Because the turtle is lower, it seems bigger. It seems like a bigger problem, right? And that's what happens. Sometimes you'll come upon a seller and they'll tell you no, and it looks like this big puddle that you can't get across. Or you'll come up on a problem with a property, or a problem with the title work, or a problem with something. And you'll think, "Oh no, this is a total deal breaker. I can't do this. I can't cross this puddle." I want you to say, "Wait a second. Am I thinking about this like a turtle? Or am I thinking about this like a giraffe?" Because a giraffe would look at a no from a seller and say, "Woo! Got one no. Let's keep going." Because one thing that I love to celebrate are the no's. When a seller tells you no, that's God saying, "This deal isn't good enough for you. This deal isn't going to pay you enough. This deal is going to end up being a pain in the ass." All right? We celebrate when sellers tell us no in my world, because that gets us one no closer to a yes. We're going to hear a lot of no's. Get used to it. It's totally cool. When you get that yes, it makes all the no's worth it. Okay? So the giraffe would get that no from a seller and be like, cool, no problem, keep going. The giraffe would get that problem with the property or that problem with the title work or that attorney that didn't want to cooperate, and the giraffe would go, no problem, just find another one, just deal with it, just have it fixed, just renegotiate, just whatever. The turtle would look at it and go, oh, game over. But the giraffe looks at it and says, no big deal, let's keep going. I want you to be the giraffe. I want you to take everything one step at a time, eat the elephant one bite at a time, and look at the problems from the perspective of the giraffe from way up high and say, no problem. Marie Forleo says that everything is figure outable. It's not a deal breaker. It's not a stop sign. It's a, shit happens. Keep going. All right? Abby Labby says that if you can't, play with it or pee on it, just leave it alone and keep going. Some of these things are going to look like deal breakers, and they're not. One bite at a time, one step at a time, from a high perspective, not a low perspective, and always with thank you for this lesson. Let's keep on trucking. All right, I'll see you in the next module, or in the next video.